I'm Sam, welcome to Baseline Unknown. Hey guys, and welcome back to Finding My Baseline with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, mast cell activation syndrome, and postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. This is week 3. I'm doing weekly updates on my exercises and progress in my symptoms while living with these conditions. And I'm working with a physical therapist in order to help avoid crashes. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell on YouTube and Substack so that you don't miss any weekly updates. And let me know in the comments what you're struggling with most living with chronic illness. This week did not go exactly how I had planned, but it was kind of expected because I had 2 good, very active weeks, and now I am slowly going into a crash, and I'm also going into my luteal phase, so I'm a lot more fatigued and tired than I was in the last 2 weeks, and you probably can tell with my voice and with just everything. I'm very exhausted, so I'm going to try to make this video as quick as possible. I still want to give updates when I'm feeling like this. I'm obviously trying to not expend more energy than I have to. Literally holding up my arm is hard right now. My exercises this week were the same as last week, and I will put them in the comments. Even though I didn't fully finish them this week, I still want to add them to the comments so that you guys can see them. I'm going to have to redo the week's exercises next week because I missed way too many days of doing exercise, so it set me back about a week. Normally, I would have been really upset about this, but I'm okay with it because I knew it was going to happen. I prepared myself in my head for that. So let's jump into the week. On Monday, I woke up in horrible pain. I was in about a 5 to a 6 pain because the weather system that was coming through was not only trying to destroy everything with tornadoes, but apparently my very fragile baseline that doesn't really even exist. I had an infusion on Monday, and to be honest, it didn't really make me feel any better. Normally, I get like a boost after my infusions, but this time I just felt crappy the whole time. And I had to give about 1 million vials of blood because my PCP is trying to check on a bunch of things. After all that fun, I ended up going home and I just slept on the couch with my dog, which I am very blessed to be able to do. But I didn't do any exercises. Didn't feel that it would have been productive to do the exercises while I was in so much pain. On Tuesday, I wasn't as exhausted, but I feel like I was still reckless with the energy that I did have. I did a lot of work and things around the house that ended up landing me on the couch again in the evening. I ended up doing my exercises in bed again while I was reading, and that seems to help to know that I can do my exercises in bed if I end up putting them off throughout the day. Wednesday was physical therapy day, and I almost missed my appointment because I was looking at next week's appointment time instead of this week's appointment time. That almost screwed me. I went there without eating. I did take my medicine. I did get there a little bit late, but that's okay. We worked through it. We did a couple new exercises, and we went over the blood work that had come back, and we ended up working manually on my abdomen and my lower back because I was having pain. Doing the exercises did increase my pain, so we adjusted some things. She ended up adjusting my hips, which really helped with the pain in my lower back. Even though the hip adjustments don't stay because of the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, it still helps to mitigate the pain a little bit. Thursday was the worst day of the week. You know how when you're getting sick and you get body aches and sometimes it even hurts for your clothes to touch you? That's what it started to feel like. Was I actually coming down with something? No. Had I not been getting restorative sleep? Yes. When my husband got home, I forced myself to get up and go out on a walk and get outside because it was actually a really nice day. The beginning of the walk was great. I was starting to feel a little bit better, but we did push it a little bit too far. I noticed the signs of crashing too late, so I was literally just focusing on getting to the car because I knew if I stopped, I was not going to be able to get up. Once I got to the car, I just sat there and let myself regulate, and my heart rate wasn't even high. It was just a little bit warmer outside, so my blood was probably pooling a little bit more, and it was more exercise than I had done in the last couple days, so it all just kind of added up. It wasn't a great outcome. I did attempt to do some exercises in bed, but I was already so exhausted at that point that I just didn't even worry about it. At this point, I already knew I was probably going to have to repeat a week, and I was starting to be okay with that, so I kind of just moved on. On Friday, I was actually able to end on a positive note because I woke up feeling somewhat okay, and I I think I was able to pace myself pretty well. I had my second infusion, and this one did give me that little boost that I'm used to. In the evening, my husband and I decided that we wanted to do something different because we normally go to the gym on Fridays. This time we ended up going to hit golf balls, and it turns out that I'm actually kind of good. So that was really fun. I really focused on just kind of having fun with it and being as loose as I could. It was a great feeling to be able to end a really hard week on something that made me feel somewhat normal. Overall, the week was very exhausting and not super productive, but that is okay. I knew I was going to have not productive weeks. That is the territory when it comes to living with chronic illness. For each week moving forward, I want to go over 3 celebrated wins and 3 championed battles that happened during the week, because every week is going to come with different challenges and different wins. So my celebrated wins for this week, I wasn't mean to myself about my effort level, which is a huge improvement from my past mental states. I drove myself to all of my appointments, even though I was feeling bad this week, which is a huge thing because I used to not be able to drive at all. My husband was taking me to every single appointment, so being able to drive to an appointment and back when I'm kind of in a flare is a big thing. I might be good at golf if I could practice more. These are my championed battles for the week. My pain levels were a lot higher, but I ended up taking pain medications when I started to feel pain instead of pushing through, because that's what I normally do. So I'd say that's even an improvement. I didn't wash my hair all week long, and my husband ended up having to help me wash it. A lot of times when I'm having a bad week, my hair is very thick and long, and it takes a lot of effort to be able to wash it. So his help is so appreciated. Honestly, if I didn't have him, I probably would have to cut my hair because it's definitely hard to manage while being chronically ill. I did have a small MCAS reaction from eating some leftovers. I'm wondering if it's because it was just leftovers, because sometimes that happens, but the pollen in my area is starting to get really bad, so my allergies are going to be way worse in the coming months, so that could have also contributed to that reaction. I don't panic as much during those episodes now because most of the time I know what's going on. A really bad one, you can't really help if you panic because your body's just telling you something's wrong, but this time I was able to see the signs, take the medications I needed, put my feet up, put ice on, all of that, and I was able to work through it. It's still scary, but I'm definitely way better prepared now than I used to be. Even though this week was really hard, I did learn things that I can bring into next week and into the future of doing this program. I'm not happy that I have to do this week over again, but that's completely fine. It's going to happen at other times, so we just kind of have to get over that at this point. I think that is all for my week 3 update. I know it was kind of quick, but some weeks are going to be harder and more in depth than others. If you have any questions or concerns, please leave them in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe on Substack to read more about my weeks in detail. I hope you all have an amazing week, and I'm excited to see what next week has in store. Don't forget to celebrate every win and champion every battle. I love you all. Bye.